In a world where information holds more power than weapons, two great nations, Ostania and Vestalis, are locked in a silent war, constantly fighting in the shadows to gain the upper hand. To prevent another open conflict, Vestalis launches Operation Strix, a top-secret mission entrusted to its most skilled spy, Twilight. Disguised under the identity of Lloyd Forger, his task is to create the perfect family and infiltrate the enemy's inner circles. However, this family is anything but O. Despite their secrets, the Forgers try to live like a normal family. One sunny day, while spending time at the park, Anya enjoys a giant ice cream cone as Lloyd, ever cautious, maintains their perfect family image. Suddenly, Bond has a vision of the future. A frustrated construction worker will steal an excavator and cause chaos in the city. Anya, able to read Bond's thoughts, sees the same vision and decides to stop it, but without letting her parents notice. Pretending that she wants to go home to study, she convinces Lloyd and Yor to leave the park and head toward the area where the incident will soon happen. There, the overworked man finally snaps, starting to wreak havoc with the machine. Lloyd quickly takes control of another excavator to stop him, while Yor jumps into action and saves an elderly man from being crushed. With his usual precision, Lloyd manages to subdue the worker without revealing his true identity. In the end, he advises him to take a B. Meanwhile, at the Vice headquarters, a new diplomatic crisis begins to unfold. An official named Sergei is blocking the export of strawberries due to illegal smuggling between the East and West. This simple trade dispute threatens to become an international scandal, all because the foreign minister didn't get strawberries on his cake. To prevent chaos, Agent Fiona Frost is assigned to solve the issue before it escalates. Fiona, who secretly harbors feelings for Lloyd, contacts him for information about a stamp forger who might be key to the mission. With help from an informant named Franklin, she discovers the man's location. Together, they infiltrate a dangerous underground district disguised as a couple of mercenaries. There, they meet Pluma, a skilled counterfeiter who refuses Fiona's offer, demanding a higher price. Before they can negotiate further, a group of armed men attacks, aiming to kill Pluma. Fiona reacts instantly, protecting the target with her elite combat skills. Franklin assists her in escaping through a network of hidden tunnels, saving both their lives. Although Fiona is irritated for needing help, she successfully completes the mission. Pluma, grateful for being alive, agrees to forge the stamps, though he charges a higher fee. In the end, Fiona returns to Vice with the completed documents, forming an uneasy alliance with Franklin for future missions, though he doesn't seem too eager to team up again. Back at home, Lloyd, Yor and Anya continue their unusual family life, hiding their true identities while Operation Strix moves forward, one step closer to success or disaster. While Vice works tirelessly to prevent the world from falling into another war, things inside Eden Academy also begin to spiral into chaos with the start of the new school term. Director Henry demands that all students maintain exemplary behavior, warning that any misconduct will be punished with a Thunder Medal. However, Damian's group seizes the moment to make a mischievous bet with Anya and Becky. Whoever receives a medal will have to run around the school in their underwear. What began as a harmless joke quickly takes a serious turn with the arrival of Miss Donna, a teacher infamous for her strictness and obsession with discipline. Her mere presence sends waves of panic through the students, as she's known for handing out Thunder Medals for even the most trivial infractions. When Donna approaches the first-year classrooms, the rumor spreads like wildfire, filling the students with dread. Upon entering Anya's class, she begins a meticulous inspection, checking desks and backpacks one by one. Without hesitation, she starts distributing Tonitrus medals left and right, punishing students for having candy, carrying playing cards, or even forgetting their cleaning handkerchief. To her, these were grave offenses. According to Donna, a former star student once forgot his handkerchief and ended up becoming a criminal, which perfectly reflects her extreme way of thinking. During the inspection, Damian realizes in horror that he forgot his own handkerchief. Terrified of disappointing his perfectionist father, he begins to panic. Reading his thoughts, Anya understands his fear and decides to help him, believing that if she can befriend him, her father Lloyd's mission to preserve peace might progress. But when she checks her bag, she discovers that the handkerchief she thought she had is covered in crumbs from Bond's food. As a result, Anya herself receives another Tonitrus, once again finding herself on the verge of expulsion. Even so, Damian feels grateful for her attempt to help and promises to repay her someday, showing a subtle but meaningful change in his attitude toward her. This small gesture marks progress in Anya's Plan B. Meanwhile, Lloyd faints in frustration upon learning that his daughter has been punished yet again, realizing that all his efforts to turn her into a model student continue to fail. Amid this chaos, the story takes us to the past, revealing Lloyd's childhood long before he became the continent's most feared spy. As a young boy, he spent his days playing war games with his friends, who affectionately called him Commander. Though his father wanted him to focus on his studies and grow into a respectable man, Lloyd dreamed of becoming a soldier and protecting his nation. One day, he lied to his father to get money to buy a toy gun, but was soon overcome with guilt. Before he could confess, tragedy struck. His city was bombed by Ostania, destroying his home and marking the beginning of a devastating war. That tragic event changed Lloyd's life forever, planting within him the desire to build a world where no child would ever have to endure the horrors he once lived through.
After the first wave of bombings, the citizens of Ostania begin to flee in desperation. At first, Twilight doesn't fully grasp the magnitude of the war, but everything changes when he witnesses the death of people he once knew. As the months pass, Twilight loses contact with his father and struggles to support his mother by fishing to survive. But tragedy strikes again when a new air raid destroys their refuge. Twilight manages to survive inside a shelter, yet his mother does not. Left alone in a ruined world, his childhood ends in grief and loneliness. Years later, desperate to live, Twilight lies about his age and enlists in the Vestalis army. On the battlefield, he meets Frankie, a soldier from Ostania. Though Twilight nearly kills him, he hesitates after realizing Frankie's humanity. During their brief conversation, Frankie admits that both sides are fighting for nothing but political lies, a truth that enrages Twilight, who still blames Ostania for destroying everything he loved. Later, Twilight is severely wounded and reassigned to the kitchen, where he reunites with his childhood friends, miraculously alive. However, their joy fades quickly when his friends are sent on a mission that ends in disaster. Only their dog tags return. Consumed by guilt, Twilight begins to despise himself for being powerless to change anything. One day, a mysterious man approaches him, someone who knows his real name and the lies he used to enlist. But instead of punishing him, the man offers him a chance to truly make a difference, join the intelligence division. Realizing that information is more powerful than bullets, Twilight accepts. He abandons his old identity and begins his new life as a spy under Sylvia Sherwood's command. Returning to the present, we learn that all of this was a dream, a fragment of Lloyd's painful memories. Even as Anya earns another demerit at school, Lloyd gently reminds her to cherish her friends. Having lost everything once, he now understands better than anyone the value of those bonds. For the first time in his life, Twilight, now Lloyd Forger, has found warmth, peace, and a family worth protecting. We return to the present where we meet Jonas, a famous opera singer in Vestalis, tasked with representing cultural unity between East and West to maintain an image of peace. However, his reputation as a relentless womanizer threatens to tarnish that mission. Sylvia, the head of intelligence, orders her team to control Jonas's scandals, especially a young agent who despises the singer for his reckless behavior. Sylvia reprimands him, reminding the rookie that a true spy must remain objective and prioritize the greater good, even if it means defending morally questionable individuals. The situation becomes more complicated when the team receives a death threat directed at Jonas, warning that he will be assassinated during an upcoming event in Vestalis. Although uncertain about the letter's authenticity, Sylvia decides to investigate, knowing that such an incident could easily be used as a pretext to ignite political conflict. As she reflects, she remembers a young Twilight who was once an impulsive novice before becoming an exemplary agent, an encouraging reminder that every spy must grow through experience. Days later, the team discovers that Jonas's scandals were fabricated. The women claiming to be his lovers had been paid off to ruin his reputation. During the night of the opera performance, Sylvia notices a suspicious guard who clearly lacks the proper training to carry a weapon. Acting on her instincts, she orders her agents to keep a close eye on him, and her suspicions prove correct. The man turns out to be the assassin from the threatening note. In a tense confrontation, Sylvia's team intervenes just in time, saving Jonas and neutralizing the attacker, who is later revealed to be a war-traumatized ex-soldier seeking to enforce his own sense of justice. The rookie learns an important lesson about not judging others too quickly, though irony strikes when it's revealed that Jonas did in fact have lovers, one of them being the wife of a dangerous mercenary. After the chaos, the story shifts back to Anya's everyday life, as she waits for her delayed school bus, held up by the driver's illness. The principal, Henry, takes the opportunity to speak with her, trying to encourage her to make friends and explaining the value of rules and punishments at Eden Academy. However, Anya barely understands his lecture, pretending to listen just to seem polite. Henry then decides to show her the Hall of Fame, explaining that every honored student earned their success through hard work and that mistakes, even receiving a Tonitrus Bolt, are part of the learning process. Motivated, though slightly frustrated by how far she still has to go, Anya promises to try harder. When she returns home, she reads her parents' minds and sees how hard both of them work, inspiring her to study more seriously. However, Lloyd completely misinterprets her sudden motivation, assuming she's been punished again, once more revealing his lack of faith in his daughter's academic abilities. Back in the Forger's everyday life, we see Yor trying to fulfill her role as a devoted mother by offering to buy Anya some sweets. During their conversation, she learns that Anya's relationship with Damien has improved, which makes her happy after recalling their previous fight. Still, Yor hesitates to ask her neighbors where to buy the sweets, afraid of raising suspicion, and decides to go to the supermarket alone. While searching for a candy shop, an elegant woman trips after carrying too many bags filled with cosmetics and beauty products. Without thinking, Yor reacts with her assassin-like reflexes and catches her before she hits the ground. The woman named Melinda comes from a wealthy family. Delighted by Yor's quick reflexes and kindness, she offers her expensive sweets as thanks and invites her to join a mother's volleyball match. Though socially awkward, Yor displays impressive athletic ability, astonishing everyone and earning the admiration of both the group and Melinda herself.
Through their conversation, Yor realizes that being a mother doesn't mean having all the answers, and she feels comforted to see that even other women struggle to understand their children. The real twist comes when Melinda reveals that she is Damien's mother and the wife of Donovan Desmond. Nervous, Yor apologizes for the fight between their children, but Melinda shows no anger. On the contrary, she seems genuinely pleased to meet her, though there's something subtly unsettling about her demeanor. When Yor tells the story at home, Lloyd is shocked, as Wise has long been investigating the Desmond family. Suspecting that this coincidence could be dangerous, he decides that Yor's new friendship with Melinda might actually be a chance to advance Operation Strix, while outwardly maintaining his role as the understanding husband. Anya, reading her father's thoughts, panics fearing she might be replaced in the mission and decides to compete with her mother to get closer to the Desmonds first. Meanwhile, Yor consults her boss, who approves of her new friendship but finds Lloyd's apparent interest in the National Unity Party curious. The next day, Anya tries once again to approach Damien, this time with Becky's help, who mistakenly believes it's out of love. Unfortunately, the plan ends in disaster when Damien ends up covered in food. Thus, Anya's dream of befriending the Desmond's son will have to wait a little longer, while Yor and Melinda's connection opens a new and intriguing path for the story's future. After Billy is captured and the Red Circus is finally dismantled, the police confirm that the bombs were fake, bringing enormous relief. No student had ever been in real danger. Parents rush to the school to retrieve their children, overjoyed to see them safe. Among them is Mr. Blackbell, who arrives in a panic to check on Becky. In the midst of the calm that follows, Anya and Damien share a rare quiet moment together, and he slowly begins to see her more like a friend. However, his insecurities and his distant relationship with his family prevent their bond from progressing further. George appears tearfully relieved to find Anya unharmed, and though Lloyd is present as well, disguised as a police officer, he chooses not to approach her to avoid drawing suspicion regarding his sudden appearance. Soon after, Melinda Desmond arrives unexpectedly, radiating a strange mixture of affection and coldness toward Damien. A chaotic blend of emotions that Anya manages to glimpse through her mind-reading ability. Despite the unsettling encounter, the children involved, Anya, Damien, Becky and Billy, are awarded a Stella Star for their bravery, marking a meaningful step forward for Anya in Operation Strix. Even so, Lloyd remains troubled by the danger Anya faced, concerned that such experiences could impact her emotional growth. Though surprisingly, Anya shows no trauma or fear, only slight discomfort at the confusing emotional atmosphere surrounding the Desmond family. Following the incident, many parents demand greater security at the school, prompting the state to step in and reinforce campus protection. Back in class, Anya, Damien and Becky become popular for helping resolve the bus crisis. But Anya shines the brightest, letting the attention go straight to her head as she imagines herself capable of ruling the world. Hoping to move the mission forward, she considers inviting Damien to her house so Lloyd can get closer to his father, but she becomes too distracted by her newfound fame. This leads to another argument between her and Damien, causing all the attention she had gained to fade just as quickly as it appeared. In the end, her progress crumbles, leaving Operation Strix at another standstill.